Hi, I'm Liz Baltus, and I play Proserpine Garnet.
Hi, my name is Jared Zimmerman, and I'm playing Lexi Mill.
Hi, my name is Chris Fattel, and I'll be playing Reverend James Morrell.
My name is Sharon Reedkirk, and I'm playing Candida.
Hi, I'm Tim Holmesley, and I'm portraying Eugene Martinbanks in the production of A Minister's Wife at San Jose Rep. Eugene is a poet who comes from a very wealthy family, but from past experiences and circumstances of his life, has found his way onto the streets of London, where he's found by a minister, and he is taken into their home and invited into their life. He's very anxious. He has very high anxiety with around people and in everyday conversations. But yet, he may not be socially inept, but he can just look at people and understand them and see them. And he just takes one look at you, and he knows who you are.
Well, he's a very earnest, hard-working parson in a church in the East End of London in the 1890s. Lower middle class, lower class neighborhood, a lot of poverty, a lot of work to be done. And though he is very diligent, very earnest, that diligence and earnestness sometimes leads him to ignore his home responsibilities. And that's what a lot of this particular play has to do with.
She is the minister's secretary. She's worked for him for some time now, a couple years, and she is in one of those situations in her life which I think we can all relate to at some point, where she's found herself in a situation that's probably not the most healthy for her anymore, but it's the comfortable situation and the safe situation, and the play is built around the day that today's the day she's starting to realize that this is probably not working for her anymore. And I actually think that applies to every character in the play, but she has her own private little series of breakdowns throughout the show. So yeah, she goes on quite a journey.
Yeah, Lexi's a curate at this parish in the play. He works for Mr. Morrell, and he's been there for about 6 months, and everything's been going pretty smoothly for him. And I think this play for Lexi is about sort of an awakening to figure out who he is and what he stands for. And he thinks it's career-oriented in the show because that's how his mind works, but as things go on, it becomes something else.
Candida is a woman who Shaw describes her as being a woman who gets what she wants without any scruples. She's not manipulative in any way, but she just has this loving presence that draws people to her and allows them to do things for her without thinking or being begrudged to do them. And on this particular day, nothing is lining up the way it normally does, and that's Candida's initial struggle in this play. And she's such a person of love and joy, and that's missing from this day in her life. And it's lovely to have her struggle with something that comes so naturally to her, and try to express herself in a time where women didn't have the tools that we have now to be able to do so, and it's really fun.
Well, I think one of the great things about this show and about anything that George Bernard Shaw wrote is he writes on so many different levels with such intelligence, with such sensitivity, such poetry. He writes and addresses political issues, social issues, human issues, and all with an incredible poetry, with an incredible style. And as someone who does a lot of musical theater, a lot of singing, I've always found, My Fair Lady is another example, based on Pygmalion, that there is an inherent music in his writing, in his dialogue, that it is as close to singing as one can get while just reciting written dialogue.
It's so brilliantly adapted from Shaw's text. The adapter is Austin Pendleton, and who did the book for this adaptation, and Joshua Smith, who wrote the music. The music is so complex. Learning it, it's difficult to learn. There's meters that, as a singer, I'm not familiar with, and then the minute you get into it, it sings like speech. So you have these beautiful, complex, untraditional melodies that lift the text into song so effortlessly, and I think the transitions are so smooth, and it's such a joy to be able to sing such intelligent material, and I think the audience is going to appreciate that as well. It's beautifully, beautifully written.
Beautifully written. For my character and others, just the way the music isn't like a regular musical, where you all of a sudden you're busting out into song and dance and things. It flows right out of the dialogue, right into a conversation or an argument or emotion of love and feeling. But it's not. It's more like, to me, music is more like a Shakespeare soliloquy, where you're going through the piece and no other emotion can express what the dialogue is than having this song, and it's so beautifully orchestrated.
All the perfect moments were chosen where to begin the music. I feel like all the best musicals are written because the music starts when you just can't speak anymore, you have to sing it. And in this play, I feel like the best Shaw moments, the most emotional of the moments in the play, are now really brought forth with the music. So I just love every time in the play that we get to sing, because I feel like it gives us a chance to. It's so easy to be motivated to sing with these great words that have been written.
I mean, it's a beautiful script, it's a beautiful score, but I think it's really what the actors are bringing to it and what our director is bringing to it. It's a play that also has music. So there's a lot of really juicy stuff, and so I really enjoy the conversations we're having in the rehearsal hall, and how we are all playing with each other and discovering things, because that's exciting for us, and then ultimately it becomes exciting when we're in the space, hopefully bringing the story to life. Come see the show.
Just come on down.
Because it's a timeless piece. We're in 1895, the year 1895 in London, but these things that happen to each of these people and that they go through are happening to all of us today too. And so I think everyone will be able to identify with it, and every character is right. Everybody has a point to make, and it makes up all the parts of a really great whole that is a minister's life.